still. Okay. Forgive the blood, cause it's white and I can't bear changing it to my black one. Welcome to this video. So I'm a little bit underdressed for this one because there's another dress that goes on top of this because it's kind of more see-through, so it has this slip that came with it. This dress is actually a size 18 and I bought it because again it was on like a sale rack and it's an experience. I mainly bought it because I was like, what is this dress? I wanted to look it on. And when I tried it on, I was kind of like, I actually kind of like it, weirdly enough. But there's just a few things I want to do to it that I feel like I'd actually wear it if I'd done those things to it. So I'm going to put it on and show you the magnificence that is this. Ta-da! Now, I do actually quite like this one, to be honest. Weirdly enough, there's something about it that I love it for some reason. I think it might be kind of the bottom area. Something about it I just love. Like, I cannot tell you really why. However, there's a few changes I want to really quickly make to it. I feel like this dress kind of has the problem of the stiffness in terms of like a lot of people who are my size or even close to my size, and you know, you're kind of like, the Hulk effect. I feel like there's just, you kind of feel like if you go too hard, it's gonna rip. But this one, it's not too bad. I have other ones where I'm like, yeah, if I just even remotely go like that, it's boom. This one's not actually too bad. I feel like I could sit like this. There's a little bit tenseness around the back, but it's not too bad. Folding my arms, not the best. I feel like it's getting to the real bad tension there, but I feel like I could still do it. However, what I want to do with this one is I want to basically chop it here so that I'm not sure about the sleeves just yet. Part of me wants to, because you kind of have these frills. I'll come closer so you can actually look and see. But you kind of have these frills up here, and I'm kind of tempted to chop it so that I chop this off here up to kind of like here, over where this bun is sitting, kind of like that. So then I could sort of like pull this down so that it kind of, I can't do it right now, but it kind of creates more like a puffy sort of more sleeve sort of deal. Because right now, this has elastic here, which again I might take out. I feel like I might make a bigger elastic in general because I feel like if I were to do this, it's too tight up around my elbow. But I think that's something I'd try first. I'll try cutting this off here and then kind of bringing it down off the shoulder. And we're going to see how it looks at that point. I feel like there's definitely stuff I really want to do to this one. To be honest, I was kind of tempted to like, weirdly enough, for some reason, I was kind of like, hell, it reminds me of like Lolita. And I'm not talking like, I think the term is like sweet Lolita. There's like different types from what I remember. I don't know a ton about it. But I love like over the top. Maybe that's why I love this. For some reason, over the past like year, I've gone to kind of like over the top, frilly, overtly feminine sort of things. Or well, what society considers overtly feminine stuff. Like, to be honest, there was one point where I was looking at like chokers and stuff like that. Turned out when I actually went on to Zero Post and looked at it, it was actually for pet play. But you know what? I feel like anyone could wear that sort of like choker deal because it looks like, I don't know why I love it so much. I can't really wear chokers, mainly because of big old double D right here, double C I suppose technically, because I did try wearing one once, which I think was actually super cheap because I did end up seeing the exact same thing on AliExpress later on, and I'm both unsurprised but also kind of surprised, and I don't think this is a case of like them ripping off because literally I had it kind of sitting here. I was a bit thinner at this point, so I didn't have so much of the chin, but I mean, they're most of my life, you know. But like, it was kind of sitting like here, and like, I remember leaning forward and laughing, and I remember just feeling this kind of like, pop, and like the bit at the front kind of came off, and I was like so upset. I was like, ah, I love the look of chokers, but I cannot wear them. Or at least I can wear them, but I feel like I have to wear them quite low down. I have to kind of wear them, I don't know if it's termed as a choker. I think it's like the sort of necklace choker. You know, ones that kind of have like, you know the one I'm talking, like a chain, or, you know, not necessarily like an actual one that goes up onto the neck, but like a necklace that kind of sits on the collarbone sort of deal. And I feel like that's where I have to wear them. And I have worn one that I made before, but yeah, I feel like they look so much better when there's nothing around this area. Like if I had something that was more, you know, can't remember what this neckline is called, is it Sweetheart? Whatever, it's sort of like bigger sort of showing of this area of skin, I feel like it would look a lot better if I were to wear a choker at that point. I've got a bit distracted on it. Anyway, I feel like I don't really have to do too much of it. I think this one is going to be, like most of the others, just chop it up and hope for the best. And I feel like that's where this one's going to head soon. I don't know if unpicking the seams is necessarily going to be the best. I think what I do is I would just cut so that there's like a centimetre like extra from where I was like thinking, so then I can just hem it if I need to sort of deal, or even like hem the top with some elastic for obviously it's going to be an off the shoulder, because I do have another dress that I really like. Actually, I'll go put that one on and I'll show you what I mean by like off the shoulder sort of deal. This is also one of the ones where you have to kind of like, is that little Barry? Yeah, little Barry. The thing about this one as well, because it's a size 18, you do kind of have to do the sort of like method of like holding up your hands and like doing it really weirdly to get it off, which hopefully should be fixed by doing that. I don't know what I'd be doing with this. I mean, if that gets elasticated, I might literally just sew this in, or I'm maybe thinking I might get some other dress lining and just line it. I feel like that's the best way to do it, I think. Ignore the bra and the slip straps, but like this is what I'm talking about in terms of like an off the shoulder sort of deal. So I kind of want to get like a couple tops like this. I'm planning on possibly doing a, not really a cosplay, but like an after party cosplay with like this sort of style of like off the shoulder top. But as of right now, I think we're just gonna have to go with this scissors and see what happens. Alright, so I've already chopped it up a bit. I think it's already looking better. I think one of the biggest things about it right now is like this needs to kind of sit a little bit more up here. Maybe I can sew it in such a way that it kind of sits a little bit more like that and looks a lot better. To be honest, I could probably sew it to this slip, maybe. I don't know. The back kind of is a bit lopsided, I think, because I think this sits higher than this sits. I don't mind too much, mainly because like with this sort of very busy pattern, I feel like you can hide a lot. I feel like one of the things I do want to do is I want to kind of add like a loose kind of ruffle across the top. I think that would look really nice. The main thing is the sleeves. I'm half tempted to try cutting off the sleeves so they're separate from the main material of the dress, then kind of work as this is a base sort of deal. It's definitely not expertly done, but as I said, with the busy pattern, I feel like I could kind of get away with that a little bit more. Yeah, I think the thing about it now is like it's hard to know exactly where things, I think there's certain areas where they're sitting quite well. I feel like I took a bit high on this one, and then I did the other one. Yeah, but I feel like that looks so much better already, so much better. But I feel like again, having that so it's a little bit more kind of up onto this area like that, I think the problem I'm going to encounter is like this area here. So I'm thinking maybe it might be an idea to literally cut off the sleeves and then possibly reattach them at a later point, maybe, or just have them as something completely separate. I need to do it when the thing is off. I probably need to add a little bit more elastic to this, but I feel like even just taking off that top bit makes it look so much better. I could also technically just embellish some of the material that I have from this top area, just kind of embellish it onto the sleeves, kind of make them a little bit thicker. That might work quite well, but I feel like that's something to do afterwards. I feel like one thing that I'm going to have a problem with is the back dropping. I think the plan is we're going to sew kind of the top area to the top of this. It means that I should be protected in terms of like the see-throughness. It should be fine. Even if I want to add more, because this is kind of stretchy, so I feel like even if I wanted to add it tighter, I could easily add a strip of elastic across the top. Yeah. So I think the next step is I'm going to find the middle of this, find the middle of that, pin it to it, pin the back, I think I'm going to cut off the sleeves and handle them separately, and if I want to come back in and like sew them back in, I can do that. I could probably very easily get like another bit, like a black dress lining, and kind of thingy it on the sides, on the inside, and I think that would look fine, because I feel like I could get more sort of bunching. I could get it like more kind of bunching a little bit more out of the fabric, and also get that ruffle at the top, which I think would be slightly better, because right now it's kind of hanging down where the elbow is. While that's not actually a bad look, it's actually not a bad look, but because of the busyness of the pattern, I feel like that sort of style aspect of it just disappears. But I feel like that's something to keep in mind if I want to do a dress in a different way. But yeah, I'll do that next, and we'll see how everything's looking from that point. I might add in a bit of elastic at the top of this as well, just to make sure, or at the top of the sleeves, so that then they kind of hold up for the next bit. Cool. Alright, so what I've done is I've basically chopped the top bit off. So basically it's just pinned to the slip that was underneath it right now. To be honest, considering the way it's sitting and all that jazz, I think just pinning it and just kind of going off of the way the slip is kind of constructed, I feel like is going to be the best way to do this. Even if I do end up adding like elastic around the top and stuff like that, to have it just hold up on its own, which I might not do, just mainly because like it'd be hard to do that. But anyway, so I cut off the sleeves so they're not attached to the dress anymore. This one has a couple of bits of elastic in it right now, so that's why it's holding up on its own, whereas this one's kind of falling down a lot. To be honest, like, I don't really know where to kind of like have this, because I could have it sort of that length, I could have it this high, I could have it more further down, but not quite at the elbow. I don't know, because I do want to have the sleeves. I could probably just reattach them and then they would kind of sit there, but then kind of be awkward to lift my hands out. I don't know. I think what I gotta do is I'm just gonna leave the sleeves for now, and I'll keep having them whenever I like try it on or whatever, just so I can kind of see like how it's gonna look and all that jazz, and if there's anything I want to change about it or whatever. Because like this is the thing that I'm doing just now, is just kind of like playing about with it, seeing what looks good, seeing what doesn't. But yeah, I think the next thing I'm gonna do is I think I'm literally just gonna sew the slip to this, because right now it's getting to that stage where it's kind of fraying, because it is like a thinner material. It is fraying quite a lot, so I think the next plan is to sew this. Don't know if I'm gonna get that done today, but I think that's the best we're gonna get. So I think originally I was like, oh, I'll just put a bit of elastic around it and then that'll be that, but I don't know if that's gonna work with this dress. I'm not sure, but I think once I've kind of sewn it into it, and then maybe I could try like just pinning some elastic to it and see if that works, because I don't really know if that's gonna work at all. So yeah, I'll show you when I've done that bit at some point. This is what I've done so far. I can't remember what I last filmed, because it was a while ago, because I lost motivation for a bit. But this is what I have so far. I put elastic onto both of these. I need to finish them off. They're a little bit weird at the top. They stay up like fairly well. Like it takes like a good amount of like shrilling to get them to actually like fall off. So I feel like I'd still probably end up kind of picking them up every so often, but I feel like they're not. I feel like it'd be worse if they were actually still attached, just mainly because I couldn't even do this. Like I feel like I'm a lot more free to do different things now, whereas like before I was kind of like, I don't know, trying not to like pull my arm away as much because it was still attached. So I've attached it to the little slip that was underneath. I think I've attached it kind of wonkily because I feel like it's sitting kind of more towards this side, but at the same time this bit is kind of sitting straight, but then this bit's weirdly sitting more over this side. I don't know whether that's just my body, to be honest. Like, I don't know whether it's just the way it falls on me. I can't remember is the problem. I think it's an alright height, like the slip I think is an alright height, but I would definitely say I'd wear something underneath it, I think. If I'd ever needed to crouch down for something, then I don't know. I feel like the slip might rise up a bit too much. I feel like this one's looser. So I feel like this one's staying up a bit more, but maybe I just didn't have it fully up, and that's why it's slipping back. I don't know, because I quite like it so far though. That's something I do quite like it. I think the main problem with the sleeves and stuff is how tight the elastic is. It's not too loose. I feel like it's on slightly the looser side, but at the same time for me to tighten it up, I feel like it'd be a lot harder because I haven't attached it fully yet. I've kind of put one stitch along the top, which I can easily undo. It's just going to be annoying to do that. Oh yeah, I have this extra like string bit that I just tie around my neck to see how it looks already, which I quite like, to be honest, around my neck. That looks kind of cute. I think my next step is I have this sort of frilly bit, so it's like this here. See it? Like that. There we are. I only have this one bit of a frill. I think this was like originally like this, I think? I can't remember how it looked on the original dress, but like I'm thinking what I could do is I could take it and pretty much just sew it along the top here. It helps hide the seam bit here, which I think would be good. And also kind of help neaten it up. Because I'm finding that, I think because it's used to fit, not necessarily particularly loose, but loosely over the slip, I'm finding it's kind of like curling up at the top here. But I feel like this would help to kind of hide that. And I also have another strip of material that the edges aren't the best. I don't have like black and embroidery thread. Wait, let's see it again on the top of my arm there. I don't really have black embroidery thread, so I just put a bunch of threads together and then kind of sewed it round the ends. But I'm thinking I could do the same sort of frill pattern, and then maybe at the end, if I really want to, because I feel like it's just gonna get, the frill is all you really need. You don't really need the ends to look particularly the same as that. But if I really want to, I can just do embroidery thread at the end and just kind of, because I'll just have this one at the back, around the back, because this one really reaches to like here and here when I do that. Oh yes, for like the sleeve, not the sleeves, these are the sleeves. The straps up here, obviously you can see my bra as well, which has got thicker straps. I mean, I could go strapless. I think the thing about it is like if I were to have a band of elastic around here, I quite like the way it sits kind of under the arm, and then up at the back I quite like how it sits where the slip is, and I feel like if I add the elastic that's not gonna work that way if I were to do that, or at least the way I'm planning on doing it. So I'm thinking of possibly attaching like a ribbon, like a thicker ribbon, because I've seen these ones where it's like a ribbon at the back and a ribbon at the front, and then you tie the ribbon, and I could tie it through the strap so it kind of attaches to the strap a bit more, or even just tie it to the strap. But you can like tie it up, and then you can have like one end of the ribbon like over here, or one end at the back. I don't have enough of the spare material of this for it to work like that with this material, but I could use like just a plain black ribbon or a spotty black ribbon or something. Actually, I do have a spotty black ribbon that's quite thick, but I don't have a lot of it. So maybe a red ribbon, actually. Maybe a red ribbon would look quite nice rather than a thingy ribbon. Yeah, I don't know, there's a lot with this one. I think the main thing about it is, I think in the end the main worry is going to be the sleeves. I feel like it's just them staying up, because they do slip down a little bit, but if I do go tighter with it, it's going to be a lot more uncomfortable, and I feel like it's still going to kind of slide down anyway, and I feel like they still stay at a fairly comfortable height even when they do slide down. It's only till they get to like the elbow that it tends to like really fall off, so I feel like I've got plenty of time to like notice if they really fall off. But yeah, I'm gonna go do that. So next step is going to be attaching this and this material, possibly getting more of it to attach to the front bit, and then finish off the ends of these. I don't think they're too noticeable in the mirror, like they're not too noticeable really, because there is this like frilly bit at the top, but it is kind of noticeable here. You can see where the seam is. So I'm gonna kind of fold that over, hide that a bit more, and then once that's all done, I'll probably just play about with a few colours of ribbons maybe on film, so that'll probably be the next thing I'm filming. And then once that's decided, that should pretty much be it. Actually, now that I think about it, that should pretty much be it. The next bit's going to be quite like, oh, there it goes. The next bit's going to be quite like intensive, I suppose, because I need to match the frill as much as I can. I haven't really done pleating, I think the best way to do it is I'll do it by hand, and then I think that's the plan. I'll do it by hand, I'll do the pleating by hand, and then once I've got the kind of same pleating effect, I can just go through it with the machine and finish it off. I think is going to be the plan, although I might just do it all by hand. I think the thing about it is like I'm very much one of those people who's like nervous around machines. I feel like when it's like something easy, like, and I can do it, but I feel like with a sewing machine, it's like it makes so much noise and I don't want to break it. It's the main thing. But yeah, I think that's it for now as far as I can think. Yeah, so I'm gonna go do that, I think. have done the frill all the way along the top and along the back. I need to fix the inside bit for the top bit along here. I did a little bit of hemming along it up here and kind of tucking it round, but it's not quite where I need it to be. And I think my plan is I've got some dress lining, some black dress lining coming, but I might be able to get away with using some ribbon instead and putting that on the top bit along here. So it kind of adds like a nicer feeling bit rather than just tucked in mesh, but also will hopefully make a cleaner edge. So even if there is a little bit of black edge sticking out here, like it's not going to be like awkward or bunched up mesh is like what I'm getting when I look at it. Particularly in certain areas where I didn't have a long enough mesh to tuck round fully. So I think that's going to be a plan for next, what I'm going to do next, and I can do that all along here as well. It's more noticeable at the back, I think, mainly because I think that had like a bigger area at the bottom. I'm pretty sure I accidentally put the slip the wrong way around because these bits usually go at the back, but I don't really care to be honest. Now, the next thing is the ribbon bit to go over the top, like for the sleeves. So what I'm thinking is I could either have like a thicker ribbon, or I could have, I'm pretty sure this is like the kind of like your normal size ribbon for this side, and it would still cover this area up here. I don't know, because I feel like if I were to wear a bra, this would cover it a lot more. If I don't, then this one would be fine. I could also always just have this be the kind of strap bit, and then this the rest of the kind of like bow area, and then maybe straps coming down because the way it would look. So it kind of vaguely be something like that. Kind of vaguely like that, so to kind of hang down a little bit. I feel like the bigger ribbon would probably be better to just do kind of the ears of the bow, I suppose, rather than do like the little straps that kind of hang down. And I feel like this one kind of look like that sort of deal. I think the smaller one's a little bit better. I think it's a little bit more defined. I don't know like how far I want it to hang down. I have a couple options, because what I could do is I could have it where it's cut to say like this length, and then it's attached here, and then I have another one the same length attached to the back, and then I tie them in a bow through this strap, so hopefully it would keep them to the strap but still have it so that I could have them hanging down. Or I could maybe just literally cut it off what I need and attach it just to the strap all the way around, and then have either like a clip-in thing or just like make the bow off of it and then just sew it to the top is what I could do as well. I don't know, because I feel like I don't know if I want to have a clip sitting there. I think that could really irritate me. Ooh, I don't know. I'm pretty sure I'm going to go for the smaller ribbon. I think the thicker ribbon's a bit too thick, really. I think the smaller ribbon will do fine and look fine. Yeah, so I think my plan is I'm going to go with a smaller ribbon. I don't know whether to wait for the dress lining and use the dress lining to do the inside bit. Because if I use the dress lining, I could maybe just have like a chunk that's like a good few inches like this long down, so that it would sit kind of nicely on the inside of the slip rather than a piece of ribbon that would possibly be this long and then I'd have to like fiddle with it. And I feel like I wouldn't necessarily have to hem, well, I'd have to hem the lining of the inside or the dress lining that I'd use, but I could also technically just leave it kind of hanging a bit so that it's kind of more like a flap than necessarily having to actually like sew it to this, because I don't really want to, because I feel like I've already got it at a position which isn't quite like full on straight, at least for me. But it's not too bad, I don't think. Maybe I'm just deluding myself, but you know. I don't think it looks too bad, and I think at the end of the day, like, I'm perfectly fine to settle with it because I think it's such a busy print, it does definitely distract from it. Yeah, so I think my plan's going to be, I'm going to wait for the dress lining because I want to use the dress lining because I think that'll be a lot easier to use. I could do the same with the sleeves, that means as well. Because I could technically tie the ribbon to the bottom of the elastic, because the bottom of the elastic isn't actually hemmed on the inside, it's just the top. But yeah, I think the dress lining would just be a bit easier because it's already going to be finicky enough. I think I'd rather have the extra material and, you know, use that, and it should make it like 10 times easier. I could technically use the big ribbon, but I feel like I kind of want to keep that ribbon for something else. I only have a little bit of that, and I'd like to use that for hair bows and stuff. Whatever the hell I got around to doing that. But yeah, I think I'm going to do the dress lining next. So I'm going to have to wait till that arrives, and then I'm going to do the bows. I will decide after I've done the dress lining if I'm going to attach to the strap and have a clip-on bit. But I think maybe what I might do instead is I might maybe attach it to the strap down here and attach it to the bottom down there, but then also maybe kind of just have it attached but two separate pieces, so it kind of comes up like this, fully attached, and then I just have to tie it, is what I'm thinking. Or maybe I could just attach it in general, I don't know. I think the next time I film will probably be me finished it. I don't really know what else I could do. I've got a lot of ideas I could do this, but like I've just got to wait till that dress lining comes in, and then I'm rambling a lot. I'm saying the same thing over and over again. Okay, so next time I film, I should have the dress lining done for the inside bits of, or the top bits up of the dress and the sleeves, and I should also have the ribbons done, and that should be everything done for that one. Probably will be a bit longer before I can film. Maybe later on this week I can do it, because I think the dress lining coming later on this week, so I'd really like to get this one done, but I also have another project that I think I'm just going to film the start of after I'm finished here, because I really want to get onto that one, and I feel like I have enough to do it, or to start it, and that might also use the dress lining as well, which I suppose you'll see in that video. But yeah, anyway, I'll see you in the next video, or next clip, which should pretty much be the final thing, so. What was I doing last time? Oh yes, I've added in the extra little bit at the front to help hem it, which I think is making it look a lot better. It's looking just a little bit nice, crisper. It's not like a fully straight, like nice thing. Like if you look at it up close, it is a little bit kind of bubbly, and it's not like fully properly straight, but the best that I could do for what I have. I think the arms are also looking a little bit better as well in terms of up at the seam area. It's not the best. I'm finding it's kind of slipping down a bit more. Maybe it's just because I haven't worn this in a bit. I need to go around and just do a single stitch on the extra dress lining I added in, just like on the four corners sort of area, just so that it kind of stays down, because I'm finding it's kind of like slipping up, and particularly on this one, because I didn't do the best job on it, one part is kind of like sticking up a lot more, and I feel like that's not the best, really. It's not. So I should finish that thought, but I'm just gonna go into the next one just so I can finish that one. But I did the ribbons. I've just sewn them onto the strap here and on the back as well. I'm thinking what my plan is going to be. I might do like a little stitch like in the middle and a little stitch right up at the top, and then tie it, because I kind of, in a way I like it, but at the same time I'm thinking I'm going to try it where it's just the two strips attached towards the middle kind of back area, and then I'm going to add a bigger kind of bow to it, and I'm going to see if I like that or not, because right now I think it's alright, but I am kind of thinking maybe if these, you know, the strips even fell down a little bit more and the bow was a little bit more bigger and a little bit more of a thicker bow, I suppose, it might look a little bit nicer. So I'm so close to being done with this. I'm so close to being done with this. I'm so close to being done with this, and yeah, I've just got a couple more things to do with it, and then I think that's going to be it finished. Alright, okay. Okay, so this is the final thing. I really do like it. I like it a lot better than the other, or how it looked originally, actually. It's the way I should say it. I would say it's not my best work. It was definitely tricky using this kind of material, because it is like very kind of, I don't know, like tissue papery? Like that sort of, is it called crepe paper or something? Like it's just very sort of weird mesh. So it wasn't the easiest thing to work with. There's still stuff that needs done, like some of the ruffles don't have the black embroidery around it to help make it look, I think that's mainly just at the back. But it doesn't look particularly like it needs done necessarily, so I think I'm just gonna do that at a later date. I think the overall shape I really like. I did kind of sew it slightly weird, so it's kind of like the buttons kind of go up like that, and then the skirt is kind of this bit here, where it's kind of like going like this and kind of folding over itself. Slightly weird, but I'm not really mad at it because I feel like it kind of just looks like it kind of goes up a little bit from the side, so I don't mind it so much. The sleeves, I like the sleeves, but I think the biggest problem I'm having, the elastic's kind of looser on this one, so it falls down a lot easier. So I'd probably have to either just sew the elastic tighter on this one, and yeah, hopefully that should fix it, because the other one's doing fine. Like, it's mainly just this one that's not really doing it, but it might also be slightly because I did put the dress lining in here, it might also be that, just because it was making it slightly slipperier, I'm thinking, but at the same time this one's doing fine, so I don't know. But I could also just wear it without it, you know what I mean? I think it looks fine without it as well. What else? Oh yes, the bows. So this one's sitting a lot further back than this one is, or at least it looks like it's sitting further back. I don't know whether it's just a case of it's kind of maybe just lying flatter or something. Nah, I feel like it's just slightly further back. But I do think that because I sewed it on, not particularly complicated, I feel like it's going to be easy just to move it forward slightly. Same with the ribbon. The ribbon's only attached to the bottom of the thread here, so I don't think it's going to be too hard to actually undo. So yeah, the straps don't 100% like cover my bra, like I'm wearing a blue one, so you can kind of see the straps there. But at the end of the day, I could either just wear a black one or a one that does have straps, but I need to get one. Yeah, so for the back, I think it's pretty good. It still kind of goes a bit lower, I think, but I quite like that it does kind of go a bit lower than the front. I think the back's fine. I was originally going to put like a corseting detail on the back, but I feel like kind of would have been a bit too much because of how busy the print is. I feel like it just would have gotten lost, whereas I'd rather do a corset deal where you can kind of see it, and it wouldn't actually be proper like would corset you in, it would just kind of be like the look of it sort of deal. But yeah, oh, for the ribbons, I've done it so that like one ribbon is kind of sewn around the front and one sewn around the back, because I could do it like that, where it's like one around the front, one around the back. Could do both at the front if I really want to, but I feel like both at the back looks a bit better, to be honest, I think. So that's how I've been wearing it. So yeah, I think the only thing really that I would do, take this off so you can see with both off. I think the only thing I'd really do is, you know, tighten the bit of elastic in this one so it stays up a lot better, and do the frilling around the back properly, kind of get the edges done with black embroidery. But other than that, I really like it. Definitely like it a lot better than how it originally looked. But anyway, that was the video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, like and subscribe, comment or something. So weird saying that. But yeah, I'll see you in the next video. I'm going to film a bunch of outros. So, bye.